Soul Project Show, hosted by your man Ty,
and your boy Dread.
every Tuesday and Friday, 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Join us each week where we talk to our special guests about their life experiences. So tap in.
It's going down.
Yo, 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 yo. What's up? What's up? Happy Friday, good people. Welcome to the Soul Project Show. I am your boy Dread. I'll be hosting today by myself. Ty's on the plane going to handle some business, so y'all pray for him. Make sure he make it to where he need to get to safely. It's Friday, baby. We made it through another week, thank God. We have an excellent show today, a dope guest. I'm going to tap him in just a second. But, of course, we got to pay the bills first. So, shout out to Teelan Athletics, the homie Moby out in Memphis. Shout out to him. Shout out to these sponsors, rather. Dijon Boutique, the boy Deontay. That boutique has a lot of retro type stuff. So if you are into the 80s, 90s, early 2000s type of fashion, go check him out. He's out in Nashville off of Lebanon Road. Shout out to H&B, Handles and Buckets, the whole Campbell family. They do a lot of skill training for basketball. Shout out to them. Shout out to the homie Marcel with Be About Change, another dope organization just trying to do things in the community to better our youth. The fine ladies of the Fine Design. Shout out to Kara and Sharice doing work with the young ladies. Any ladies that are between the ages of 12 to 17 that feel like they need some mentorship, some motivation, go holler at them at the Fine Design. Big shout to the homie Antonio at Fade Doc Barbershop. He's been down with us from the beginning, so shout out to him. Braids, and more braids. Shout out to Miss Candace. You need to get your wig right, get your hair done, go holler at her. And last but not least, shout out JA Sports Performance. Coach Jeff Anderson doing things in the community with the youth. Another organization that does skill training and stuff like that. Shout out to them, fitness as well. So without further ado, let me tap my guy in and we can get started. Man, tap him in. Where's he at? Oh, my man.
Good to see you, Dre. What's up, man? Been a minute.
Oh, man. It's good to see you, bro.
Same here, man.
It's Facial Hair Friday.
Yeah.
we in here. Oh, man. It's been a while. It's been
Long
a while.
time.
Yeah. I've been looking forward to this one. Ty has some previous engagements. So he was like, you got to do it on your own. And when I found out who it was, I was like, yes, I could do that. I could definitely do that. So we definitely appreciate you, man. Appreciate you being here for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate the invite, man. Y'all doing some amazing things, so appreciate it.
Yes, sir. So let's just jump right in, man. Introduce yourself. Tell the world who you are, what you do. Let's start right there.
Cool, man. This is Cleveland Robinson, your neighborhood therapist and soul ambassador. And primarily what I do, I'm an entrepreneur. I'll say it that way. Like, that's the blanket term. But by trade, man, you know, although I'm a therapist, I'm a person who enjoys, you know, building and helping people get to their potential and where they're headed to in life. That's really the focus of what I do. And of course, on the entrepreneurship side, I have a behavioral health company, which I operate out of, called Robinson House Behavioral Health. And outside of that, like, everything I do is involved in the community. Got a real estate arm to that. That's Robinson House Communities. And so, you know, man, if it has to do with building community or building people, that's kind of where you can find me at.
Okay. And what part of the country are you in now?
I'm in Dallas, Texas now. But like my investments are Texas, Atlanta, and Memphis, which is dear to my heart, man. I love Memphis, Tennessee. So those areas are kind of like where I spend my money at.
That's what's up. Okay, so the Soul Ambassador, where did that come from? How did you come up with that, Soul Ambassador?
Man, I came up with Soul Ambassador, let's see, like at least 10 years ago. And so, if I am now, let me say this right. I'm not a big fan of social media, but now that I realize this is how the world operates, I'm
Mhm.
having to like get my brand out there and really let people know what it's about. So, of course, a lot of people who knew me from a previous life, should we say, and I still do a little music, like, it's a passion. It don't really feel like work.
Mhm.
Um, um, it started with soul music, but that's not really what Soul Ambassador is about, actually. So
Okay.
Soul Ambassador is about um, nurturing and feeding people's souls. That's really what it's about. Music is really 1% of it. We talking about, encouraging people. We talking about helping people find their spiritual center, which is very important. We talking about people just becoming whole. So Soul Ambassador means that, I'm really out here doing my best to be an ambassador for people's souls to get nourished and become more healthy. That's what the brand is. And on the far back end is my love for soul music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we gonna get to the soul music. We're gonna get to the investments in the real estate and stuff like that. But I really want to dive into the mental health aspect,
Right.
and I'm curious as to how did that kind of formulate with you, and what kind of things have you been through that made you feel like this is what I want to do? This is one of the ways that I want to give back to the community.
Definitely. And so within that brand, I have really recently been thinking, how can I reach more people? Okay. So on a day-to-day basis, of course, I do a lot of one-on-one therapy and I do events and things that matter. But it's kind of like more people need to be reached somehow, and of course, social media, mass media, that's really the only way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I have really been in this space since Fisk, really. So we're talking about 2003, 4, 5. I've been in this space for mental health, all of that. When I was in Nashville, man, I was volunteering at this ministry down the street, actually. And so I would go over there and do like drug rehab, all that type of stuff with them, with the guys who's a part of the program, just supporting them. And life happens. I thought I was gonna go straight to grad school, but I did it until another 10 years later, man.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so 10 years later, I end up in Atlanta, back in grad school. And when I started looking around, of course, not a lot of black men are represented in the mental health space. Number one, I was like the only one in my class, and
Wow.
that graduated. And I worked in the community. It was hard work, man. So when you worked in the community base as an intern and coming up, you all over the place. I did everything in Atlanta. And so you meeting people literally where they are.
Mm-hmm.
So you meet people on the bridges, hotels, wherever, because you gotta do the therapy. And a
Yeah.
lot of we work with only, lower income people. And so, it kind of let me see up close and personal. Dang man, people really need this help. So I like working with people, but the mental health passion, honestly, didn't spark up until I was face to face really with the people who truly needed it. Not the traditional clients, but like people out here in the streets and so forth on. Your single mother, your single parent, your grandmother, people alone who really struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm transitioning to actually more advocacy. So I'm not doing this much one-on-one therapy anymore. Advocacy is my purpose, man. Like getting the word out to brothers, sisters, kids, families. Man, y'all gotta get the therapy because we gotta reach enough. We gotta reach people, man.
Mm-hmm. Hey, well, you know what? Having those boots on the ground, though, you really get a good idea and understanding of why it's so important.
Mm-hmm.
And so now moving to advocacy work, just kind of speak on, in your opinion, why it's so important. You talked about encouraging those to go get that help. Why it's so important, especially in our community, the African American community, and then more importantly, these black men out here, black males. Why
Yeah.
do you feel it's so important that they reach out to someone when they feel like they need that help or that assistance?
Well, traditionally we've never really had an outlet.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, and this is not only hearsay, man. It's piles and piles of research about why Black communities don't go to therapy, but it's a cultural thing. Like Black people are actually pretty private,
Mm-hmm.
culturally and society speaking. We don't really let things go out of our direct families and neighborhoods. And plus the spiritual aspect is there. Most of our mental health things and personal struggles, we've specifically taken to whatever our spiritual foundation is. Whether it be, from a Christian religion or Islam, whatever your Black cultural and spiritual perspective is, that's what we've always taken our problems.
Mm-hmm.
And so now what we've been pushing for, and I was doing this in Atlanta, I was actually going to churches there, and being able to speak during, services about like how those two things need to fuse together. Meaning, yeah, you need to go to your spiritual foundation, whatever your belief is, but also you need to combine that with talking to a professional. Both of them work hand in hand. And so, we're out here struggling, Black men, you just kind of just look, are struggling with anger. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at the news. Look at, you can just see it. Young Black boys and girls don't know how to channel their emotions, are misunderstood a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when you misunderstood and don't have the social skills, you got to act out because you need the attention. The attention is, man, can't y'all hear me? It's frustration.
Yeah.
And so, with the advocacy I'm trying to do is literally reach as many people as I can to kind of spread what you're saying, the why of why I support it. Because we need the help personally. And one of the biggest things I guess I could like end this point on is pushing to Black folks that counseling should not be reactive. It's supposed to be preventative.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if you think something going on, yeah, you got to go check in. If you think it, not after everything done fell apart, man. It's a lot of work then. It's
Yeah.
good, but let's kind of get to the front of it.
Yeah. So now, how receptive do you feel like our culture has been to your platform and your foundation of trying to do that? Because I know that.
Super, super receptive, Dre, because people talking about it now. You got what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, talking about it. Everybody's talking about it now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And if you are on social media for 3 seconds a day, out of a whole year, you're going to see a few messages about mental health. And so more people are talking about it. Even though it may not be advertised, people are coming. My phone rings literally nonstop. With brothers trying to come in there, I commend a lot of parents because, man, the majority of the calls I get are from parents with preteens. Preteens are the biggest calls I get. Preteens, from the ages of 8 to about 13, those are 80% of all the calls I get. So I commend a lot of parents kind of like, let's do some intervention, early now because I see some things going on. But honestly, folk being real receptive, and I'm really happy that brothers are more receptive because we talking about it now like we doing right now.
Right. Right. So O.L.L.I.E is a youth organization. That's
Mm-hmm.
what we do. We always push and encourage the youth to try and do better and be better. Um, what kind of issues have you dealt with youth? I guess the most common issue that you've dealt with, and what is one of the ways that you try and get them to understand not only that this process is needed, but to just continue to encourage them to shine and be that youth that they were meant to be. Be that young king that they were put on this earth to be.
Yeah, for sure. That's good. So my specialty is working with kids, and I was able in the community setting to kind of get thrown into the fire, man. And that's kind of how I learned that I was kind of decent at it. And so the main things you're gonna see with especially Black kids, which is my focus, is a lot of them do deal with attention issues. I'm purposely not calling it ADHD, because I don't want to use those labels at this time. But a lot of them deal with a lack of focus. And the reason I like to use those labels is because it's not necessarily always mental health. Sometimes they're not being instructed in the proper way.
Mm-hmm.
Education was not normed on Black kids. Education was normed really on Western ideals and white children. That's just been the research at all times. Even my profession of therapy and counseling was normed on white males. The profession now realizes that they were wrong for that, so they do a lot of stuff to change it. But instruction has to be catered towards different learning styles. So I get a
Mm-hmm.
lot that's dealing with attention issues and anger issues and depression. Those are the three: attention, anger, depression. 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Every it sprinkles of other stuff: attention, anger, depression.
Wow. But we see that now more than ever, especially in our community. The world is so fast paced, you know what I mean? And it's hard, or it's easy now for a child to get so caught up in everything going on around. They want to try and impress everybody. They want to be this person. They want to pump themselves up and everything. So what is going to be your ultimate goal as far as this counseling and mentoring thing? What do you want to see happen, especially in the area that you're in Dallas?
My space right now, man, really is, for lack of better words, like a trainer space.
Okay.
Because I realized it was just one me and I can only see so many kids. My mindset was like, how can you have a bigger impact? Easy. Train people how to do this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily clinical. We ain't talking about that. We're talking about, let me just give you the skills so that when that young man comes into your space, that young lady comes to your space, and you see them acting out, you see them frustrated, you see, in a class environment or whatever, you see them angry and depressed, you actually know what to say and what direction to put them in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually only see a few people now, one-on-one therapy. My main focus has been retreating and doing nothing but trying to formulate my plan on how to train more people to reach the population that you and I work with. Because that's the only way. There will never ever be enough therapists. It just ain't gonna happen. Or social workers, or psychologists, or psychiatrists. Damn sure not enough that's gonna be either the right color or had the right competence to know how to work with Black kids. That's never going to happen. So the
Right.
only way we do it is if we kind of educate leaders in the community like yourself and Ty on how to truly deal with these things when y'all see them the best y'all can. Then transition them over to professional help if they need it.
Right.
Sometimes they need to be refocused. And they may not need clinical help for that. The people who just lead them just need to know what to say and how to do it.
Right. Well, quick PSA: the Soul Project family, O.L.L.I.E family. If you need help, if you feel like you need some kind of support, go get it. There's nothing wrong with that. Swallow your pride. There's absolutely nothing wrong with going to speak to someone to try and overcome a problem or issue. All right. So now let's get into this real estate investment
Yeah,
business, side of your
that's,
business that you have.
I
Okay.
love it. Hmm.
How did that come about? When did that start for you, and how's that going?
So I haven't, of course, done a lot of social media presence about it, man. Like I've been in this weird season, Dre, where I just kind of been like, let me just focus on me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be doing a lot more talking about it. But my mother had always owned like a rental at all times, and so I always kind of been around it. But my first real job when I left Nashville was working down in South Florida, doing working for the city government down there, doing like community development, economics, man. And So I was knee deep in it. And then I realized, man, it's kind of fun. And I get it. Like, I get how this building can go here and you can resell it for X and X. This commercial building can be built. I just understood it. And so I started dabbling back then. That was 2009, 2008, 2009. Of course, I had no bread then, so I couldn't really do much. So time goes on. I moved to Atlanta officially in 2011. I had a couple pennies to my name, and I spent it on my first little investment property, which I wish I still had. But you live and you learn. And I sold it for like a profit of like $7,000, and I was like, dang, I get this. And so I went and bought another house on the outskirts of Atlanta. Stayed in there for about 15 months. Resold it for double. And I was like, I really get this. And so it started from there. I took that money when I sold that house and bought another property in Atlanta. Now, timeline-wise, we up to 2015. So I still own the house. I rent out that house in Atlanta. Then I got another property, sold it. Stupid to sell that house, but I still was trying to figure it out then. I made money, and so I'm smiling at this little check, man. Of course, that house now is worth like $100,000 more. I was sick. But live and you learn. And so I moved to Texas, bought a house out here. I rent that house now, and I timed it right. One thing I do is I buy in the hood if I can see that the market is emerging. Okay. I believe, like, people talk about gentrification, but here the truth of the matter is, we got the money too. Black professionals got the money. If you want to be gentrified, go buy it. It's simple. So I know my opinion isn't like everybody else's because you got to think about it. Even up in the Northeast, because you're from Jersey, so in the Northeast, like I know a lot of places. I lived in Brooklyn for a little while in 2016. Newark was like they was making their way through Newark, like, especially around the little lake there. Like, peace out. But here's the thing: when I talk to other Black professionals about going ahead and over here in the hood, buying a couple cheap properties, people used to scoff at me. And then when your white young professionals who do it come in and buy it, and now the property tax is going up, we crying gentrification. Black people ain't broke. Let's be very clear here. We got a lot of money, but we got to see the value in the hood the way they do. And so I bought a house here in South Dallas. I rent that out. It's my second rental. And now I'm trying to transition over into home building. And so I got I got 3 lots right now. Lot in Memphis, couple lots here in Texas. And so I'm looking to build homes, straight affordable homes. I don't really do luxury. I'm trying to give people a place to stay. And so that's the next evolution, man. Me really rocking off this development company, building affordable homes all over the country. That's where we at right now.
Well, see, I think a lot of times people don't understand that the real estate game is kind of like a chess game.
Yeah.
And so able to see 3 years, 5 years ahead of time, because neighborhoods are always changing. And of course, a lot of our youth watch this show and stuff like that. And I know a lot of them are going to hear you say, man, I flipped this. I got a $7,000 check, and that's all good. But tell them about the work that has to be put in to do this kind of job, because it's not easy either.
So it's a lot of risk involved, and you gotta really believe in your ability. Let's start there, because doing real estate, like any other high stakes type of investment, really takes putting your mindset in the place of like, this is a risk, and I could lose my money, but I'm not going to. This mindset first, or you'll be timid to take that first dive, like most people are. You and I both know a lot of people around me and you, I'm sure you've heard, oh man, I'm finna get into buying houses. And you heard them say that 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It is a little nervous, not spending $1 or $2, but like spending thousands at once. But so the first thing is getting your mindset to believe that like you really can do this. Number one, because it's a mindset. It's where it starts at.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, you gotta say the C word because we can't avoid it. Credit. Ain't no other way around it. And you gotta get your credit up. Another thing is you don't need a lot of money, but if your credit ain't right, you have to save up your money. Number one. The Caesar and DJ Emery talk about it on one of their podcasts they did. Like, if you have, I think Caesar started off with like he was able to get up $10,000 to make the down payment on his first crib.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Hopeful, he's able just to gather it from family or whomever. But you got to have a little money to save. You got to have some decent credit, which is really important, and you got to have the mindset that you're not worried about losing. You're gonna win. Another important thing I wanna make sure people understand too is, and you already mentioned it, you can't be lazy. You actually got to research this stuff,
Yeah.
literally, because people losing money every day in real estate all the time. I honestly can say I've never lost, and the only reason I haven't is because my timing has always been right, and that's my gift in real estate. I'll give y'all like for instance, I bought my first house outright. My second one, because the first one I bought outright. The second one in Atlanta, I paid 20 grand cash for it from Bank of America. And now, as of 2 weeks ago, so that was 2015. Now in 2021, it's valued at 155. I got praise last month. And so the other thing is it takes time because now that was 6 years ago. But when I bought that $20,000 house, everybody was like, why are you buying over that neighborhood? Man, that neighborhood trash. But I saw these townhomes being built 1 mile away. And I was like, okay, all right
Mm-hmm.
then. Now, $155,000 for just a $20,000 investment just going on 6 years ago. My
Mm-hmm.
house in Dallas that I rent out, I was able to get it for $85,000. Now, roughly, I didn't get my official appraisal yet, but roughly, if I renovate it, it go for 150 grand. And so, like, you really have to do your research. There is no laziness in real estate. Now, I'm a real estate agent too. I'm not really selling any homes yet, but I thought it was important for me to get the education while I'm selling my own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's what I can definitely encourage the young brothers and sisters on. They need to start there, man. Mindset, credit, and can take it from
Yeah.
there.
So then, when you have homes, what do you think? What do you think is about the average it takes to put into it to make it livable after you actually already purchase it?
Well, because I do fixer uppers. That's of course it depends on people's flavor. But if it's your first one, if it's your first crib, you don't need to get like something that's going to take a lot of money to fix.
Right.
You need to get a very light fixer upper so that you can get the jitters out of you. Now I would feel willing to take on the 50, 60, $70,000 rehab because I've now got the experience to do it, so it's not overwhelming. But remember, you're not spending your own money. People got to
Right.
remember that.
Right.
And so 15, 20 grand
Okay.
of their money, remember, of their money, 15, 20 grand, you'll get a crib and say, if I can put simple, if I can buy this house for 100, and there's plenty of houses that are 100, I need to give a number. I need to buy this house for 100. It needs $20,000 of renovations. This is what you telling the people you borrowing the money from. Cool, no problem. And it's gonna sell for 160, for
Mm-hmm.
instance. So when everything clears, you'll probably make like $35,000. Now in real life, we trying to get the butter from the duck in real life. Like we trying to get big checks.
Yeah.
But in theory, that's how it goes. It's super simple. Everybody overthink it. You spend this, you rehab this, you resell this, and you repeat it. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It ain't
Well, then I think sometimes people don't understand too, though, the more you do it, the easier it does get. You build up a rapport, especially with some of these banks and stuff like that. And if they see that you have already done that a time or two, flipped a house or two, it'll make them feel more comfortable to give you the money, give you more money. And as long as you continue to deliver, then you can work your way up. So instead of buying the $20,000 homes, the $40,000 homes, you can start buying $120,000 homes, $150,000, and those $7,000, $10,000 profits start turning into 60, 80, a
here,
100,000 profits. You know what I
here.
mean?
People doing it every single day. And you just hit something real important. And I left that out. Relationships.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Relationship actually is everything. I'm not to that point yet, but I am now finally building a relationship with a few lenders where what happens is individuals who've been in the game a little bit longer no longer pay any money down. They literally do pick up the phone and be like, I found a crib, this is what it is. And the lender be like, all right then, just pay the closing costs and we're gonna send you the check to get rolling. People are not paying a lot of money out of pocket after they get usually the threshold is 5 to 6 deals, but five with the same lender, yeah, they funding everything 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
So that's definitely, like I said, it's a chess game. Take your time, but
Mm-hmm.
understand it's not a quick game either.
It ain't a quick game. That's
Not,
because I dropped 20 grand in 2015 and it took 6 years for it to get to six figures.
mm-hmm.
So now I'm ready to roll, but it took me 6 years to get here though.
Yeah. That's all right, though.
Yeah.
All right, though. You got to have that. Got to have that discipline and that patience to play the long game.
Mm-hmm.
Do it. And more than just real estate. I mean, that's life period. But the older you get, the more you kind of start to understand that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's get into the passion. Let's get into the passion, because when I first met you 20 something years ago,
Crazy.
you know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
remember you in the boys' dorm. We were doing something in there, and you wound up getting up there singing.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
were
I kind
like,
of yeah, yeah.
this. So talk about your musical background. How did that come about? What has inspired you to do music?
Yeah, man. I'm a church kid. I've been in church my whole life, still am. And so gospel music um started a lot of it, but my family is big musical lovers too. So I came up always listening to albums and records and so forth on, and always had kind of a good musical IQ.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought about being an established artist actually until later. In high school, I had a little crew. We did some stuff, all that, and it was cool. And then in college, I performed, but I didn't perform a lot. But when I performed, I did perform.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as much as I probably should have. I was just kind of in another space, having fun like a 20-year-old kid. Ironically, now at this age, I actually am considering taking it a little more serious. But it's funny, Dre, because now that I'm into this space where like the money's starting to get better, I actually am getting more enchanted by the music business side. And so I'm gonna keep performing, but my focus will eventually be um, something in the music business world. And I'm actually trying to work on that right now. I'm comfortable with my niche though. I
Mm-hmm.
do soul music and R&B, a little more of a traditional feel. Um, and I had already had a goal that I wanted to become a well-respected independent artist. That's still my goal. I don't got to play in the Super Bowl. Like that doesn't excite me at all. Actually,
I dig.
um, yeah, I want to make sure that I can hit a House of Blues, something like that, man, and do nice little intimate sets all over the place. That's
Mm-hmm.
actually that's what keeps me driven. And
Okay.
so, man, it's a real passion for me. I have worked on some music. I'm gonna release some during the summer. And I'm gonna make sure it comes out way more consistently.
So that's what's up. So talk about some of your musical inspirations. Who are some artists that have really just kind of kept you going and continue to inspire you to want to keep doing music?
Yeah, for sure, man. It's crazy because like the R&B world sounds really different now. Like R&B, what's qualified as R&B, classified as R&B, is a totally different sound. It's like it's very super hip hop influenced,
Mm-hmm.
which is technically not the type of R&B I make. Everything's all over the place now. Everybody's trying to classify everything, and I like a lot of that music. Like Bryson Tiller, people like that who makes kind of like what they call it, like trap soul, all that.
Mm-hmm.
Um it's more of a thing for me. Like the people I still listen to are like dinosaurs. Every now and again, man, I'm driving, I'm still riding the Earth, Wind and Fire and Stevie Wonder and all of them because it's a certain sound that I kind of keep in my ear. Like an artist that'll be kind of in my vein will be like the type of music like PJ Morton makes. What Eric Roberson, those guys. Like that's kind of still my lane of R&B. So I'ma always keep my ears wet with more of a traditional sound.
Mm-hmm.
Um, create. So like I'm listening to those classic artists to keep a certain sound. Um, um, my sound actually changed in the sixth grade when D'Angelo came out. And so when D'Angelo came out, infusing R&B and old school soul and jazz, it made me get more in depth in a lot of those other genres like jazz and all the other good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And still riding to all that music. It's a young cat out named Kevin Ross. He makes good music, man. When I listen to cats like him or BJ the Chicago Kid, like dudes who crooning out here. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I like them. Anderson Paak, I think that's how you say his name.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I I like him, but I'm not crazy about his voice. His music is off the chain because
Mm-hmm.
he's a real musician. So I vibe to his music the whole time because he got all the instruments in the background. We got a full band. So like his genre of R&B, I'm vibing with that too. So um it's either vocalists who really singing or musicians like Anderson Paak. I kind of dig during this season.
Mm-hmm. All right. So if you could, we've had a lot of singers and artists and musicians and stuff on the show. And we have to ask them this question. If you could put together a song with, say, three of your top singers, singing inspirations, who would they be?
Dead or alive or alive?
Dead or alive?
Um Singers, I would have to say Luther. I would definitely do some Luther Vandross for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's like it's Luther Vandross. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You know what I'm saying? So I do some Luther Vandross. Um, love PJ Morton, man. I would do some with PJ Morton. Like in this contemporary time, female artists, man. Like I actually still really love Faith Evans, man. That's kind of like my woman crush. I love Faith
Okay.
Evans, and she can sing.
She from
And
North. Shout out to the Bricks.
for
She from
sure,
North.
man. I love her, man. Yeah, she's been an amazing artist, man, and she's consistent. She sounds really the same way she sounded back in 95, 94 when she came out. So I would love to work with somebody like her, man. That'd be sweet.
Okay. Well, just a few more questions for you, but this one we ask everyone as well. How do you measure success?
Mm. Um, I'm gonna tell you what I figured out so far. Like I had told you not too long ago, man, I'm in this different space where I'm just trying to get myself back together with how I want to be as a human being, as a man. And what I figured out so far is that I have to literally define when enough is enough. I told my friend a couple of days ago, like, I never want to get to the point where, like, it's never enough. Hit $1 million, not enough. Hit $10 million, not enough. That's a rat race, man, and a soul trap you don't want to get caught up in. Because you'll be miserable.
Mm-hmm.
So I have decided, um, like for instance, in the music tip, I get to a point, man, where I could do some intimate concerts in nice venues. That's my success. When it comes to housing, I had already made my goal, man. If I could build or rehab 1,000 homes, I could smile. I'll be all right with that, which is a really realistic goal. People doing way more than that,
Mm-hmm.
but they going. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I have very static goals when it comes to business. But I will say this. Now I got a daughter. She's a little baby. She's 8 months old. Daughter. And really, when I had my daughter, I really said to myself, man, that's my biggest accomplishment. Period.
Mm-hmm.
And so to be honest, man, like being a father actually has switched up everything for me. So like it's hard for me to answer the question black and white because when you're a dad and now you realize you have to build a legacy and be an example, your values change. And I'm in the process of trying to figure that out right now.
Okay. Well, that's all right. Shout out to all the fathers out there.
Sure.
For sure. Holidays coming up. So now, again, we've had Jeremy on the show. We've had Morrow on the show. We have Ron Black on the show.
Mm.
You got to give us just a little snippet of something, man. Sing something for us real quick. Take us out of here.
All right, let's let's see if I got it, man. A week, but I'll do my best. Let's see. I give a few seconds. If I can pull it off. See this. I was vibing to this old Stevie Wonder song. It's on final finale for fulfilling this finale. What's the music aquarium? It's called Ordinary Pain. It go when by the phone, then made you sit. You very soon in your mind realize that it's not just an ordinary pain in your heart. Said it's more than just a ordinary pain from your heart. That's all I got.
All right.
Much love.
I take that. So before I let you go, man, let everybody know where they can find you, how they can get in contact with you if they need to do any kind of business with you or if they want to just rap with you.
For sure, man. Reach out to me at Real Soul Ambassador. Anywhere, man, on my official Facebook page. You can always reach out to me on there. As well on Instagram. Starting to get a little more active on here. So Real Soul Ambassador on Instagram and on Facebook. As long as you go to those, you'll be able to call me, email me, all of that stuff. At Real Soul Ambassador. My link tree is on the Instagram as well. So at Real Soul Ambassador, you can find me anywhere in the world.
Perfect. Cleve, man, I appreciate you so much for joining me this evening. Keep up the good work. I love everything that you're talking about. Hopefully me and Ty can come down to Dallas one time and just check you out. But
Please.
from the music to the investments, especially dealing with the youth, man, I'm proud of you. I'm proud to say that I know you. Keep up the good work, bro.
Thanks, bro, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all keep it up too, man. And I'll see y'all boys soon. Thanks, everybody.
Love, man.
Peace.
All right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Another Soul Project show in the books. Big shout out to Cleveland, doing big things. Fiskite, classmate of mine. Good job, man. Keep up the good work. But it's Friday afternoon. I'm going to let y'all do what you got to do. Hope you have a good weekend. Big shout out to all the fathers doing their thing. Happy Father's Day for sure. That's not just an easy job like that, especially with some of the strikes that we have against us as black men. So keep up the good work. Keep doing what you do, especially with your children. They need it more than you know. With that, continue to be a blessing. every day. Find a way to be a blessing so that you can get your blessings. And y'all have a good one, man. It was a good time. Hope to see y'all back next Tuesday. We got another special guest at 5:30 every Tuesday and Friday. It's the Soul Project Show. Your boy Dread, your boy Ty. Y'all be easy. Peace.